started.
Hi, Bob.
Good evening.
Okay, Bob, you're all set.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At 7 p.m., we'll call to order this meeting of the Town Council of the Town of Little Compton. Our first item of business this evening is a public hearing to amend the Little Compton Town Code, Chapter 14, which is the zoning chapter. We're amending that first. It's a rather editorial change. It has been properly advertised, and we are now ready to hear from any member of the public or otherwise who wishes to comment on this item.
It might be good to explain what we're amending. If you don't mind, since you're breaking up, I can explain it a little bit, Bob.
Certainly.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
The amendment is to change the flood insurance rate maps panel numbers to bring up to date to what the FEMA numbers are now. So we were required by June 1st to have updated our zoning ordinance, and that's the reason for this amendment.
In addition to the panelists, there are 5 members of the public who are logged in. I see no evidence of anyone who has a comment or question. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is made by Councilor Matarona, second by Councilor Wallach, to close the public hearing on this matter. We will conduct a roll call vote. That roll call vote will also serve as an indication of the quorum of the council that's present, all 5 members being here at this point. Councilor Golembeski, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis?
Nay.
Councilor Moore?
Aye.
Councilor Wallach?
Aye.
Councilor Mushin, aye. The motion carries on a vote of 4 to 1. The next item of business would be the South Shore Road Safety Plan. Is there a motion to move that to later in the meeting until Chief Raines is able to join us?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Matarona, second by Wallach, to move the matter to later. A roll call vote. Councilor
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis?
Aye.
Councilor Moore?
Aye.
Councilor Wallach?
Aye.
Mushin, aye.
Just for the member of the public that's
the
here
next
for
item
that,
would-
Bob, I would just want to make note that it should be about 15 minutes, just so that the people that are here for that subject know it won't be too long.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you. The next item of business then is the approval of minutes of the April 22nd council meeting.
Motion to approve the April 22nd town council meeting as written, unless anybody has any questions or comments on it.
I'll second it.
Motion by Matarona, second by Golembeski, to approve the minutes of April 22nd. Any discussion? A roll call vote. Councilor Golembeski?
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis?
Aye.
Councilor Moore?
Aye.
Councilor Wallach?
Aye.
Mushin, aye. Thank you. The next item of business is approval of the April 27th joint meeting with the minutes of the council meeting, which was held jointly with the Budget Committee.
Motion to approve the April 27th joint budget committee meeting with the council, unless anybody has any questions or comments on that.
I'll second that as well.
Motion by Matarona, second by Golembeski. Any discussion? A roll call vote. Councilor Golembeski?
Aye.
Mataronis?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Wallach?
Aye.
Mushin, aye. Thank you. The next item is announcements. Each person in the town who is a registered voter should have received a budget committee report that looks like this. there are two important pages that you need to act on soon. The first of those is page 5 within the report, and the second is looking at the back of the report to see what your identification number is. We're asking that that meeting, which will be held a week from Tuesday, May 18th, a week from this coming Tuesday, on May 18th, beginning at 7 p.m. It will be conducted in the Zoom format like this. The Budget Committee report should have been received by now by every registered voter in Little Compton. The voter who intends to attend the meeting, and we would encourage all to do so. Voters that wish to attend the meeting need to contact the town clerk either by email or by telephone in order to pre-register for the meeting. The purpose of this is so that we know who it is that's in attendance, verify that they are in fact who they say they are, and then we can use that process to count votes at the meeting. Those votes will be to approve or to vote on budget strokes, as well as upon the results of the election of members of the Beach Commission and the Budget Committee. So if you've received this report, great, take action, attend the meeting. If you've not received it yet, you need to let us know that, but there should be no one who's a registered voter who has not yet received this package. Any questions on that from the council or additional comments?
Bob, I would just ask if
Sure.
Carol could explain, because I think there's been some confusion around voting that will occur during the meeting,
Sure.
how that will occur and how votes will be counted so that people understand.
Mhm. Well, if you were someone who attended last year, you'd already know that we will ask for people to raise their hand to approve a particular article that may be before them, or in the case of the elections, to raise their hand for a particular candidate. We then give a certain amount of time until there's no more hands being raised, and I will write down that number. That's how we know how many have cast a vote for that. And we'll go through the questions that are on monetary value. We'll ask for both raising of hands for who's in favor and raising of hands who are opposed, so that we can clearly decide what the decision is. It
And
worked very well last year.
Great. I assume that this means that if you are 2 voters in one household, you need to be on 2 different devices.
Yes, that has been explained in the Budget Committee report. So if they read that section, they'll see that. You need to either be on a separate device, such as an iPhone, a smartphone, a tablet, a computer, or if you don't have that, you can also use a telephone, but you need to make sure it's one that's not rotary dial so that you can push *9 in order to raise your hand. And all of those will need to be pre-registered so that we can recognize when you enter the meeting who you say you are.
And is there a way, if people don't have 2 devices in their house, that they can tell you that they want to vote?
If there is someone who absolutely has no other option, and I really stress that it needs to be people that truly have no other option, we will write their names down. And if we get to a vote where it's going to be close, my staff will have to call that home and find out how their votes are. It's the only other way I can do multiple people. And we did not have to do that last year because the votes were clearly through a large enough margin. But if there's a close vote, that's what we'll have to do.
Okay, thank you, Carol.
Mhm.
Thanks for the question and for that explanation. I think that's important to the integrity of the whole process. So I look forward to energetic attendance and participation in the financial town meeting on May 18th. The next item of business is approval of is acceptance of the department head reports. We have 7 from the police, fire, clerk, administrator, building department, the assessor, and the finance director. I would solicit a motion to place these 7 reports on file. In the discussion, we can determine if someone wishes to remove one for comment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Golembeski, second by Mataronis, to place the department head reports on file. Is there discussion? Hearing none, then we'll ask for a roll call vote for that motion. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
Motion aye. Thank you. Those reports then are placed on file. The next item of business is a letter from the Chief of Police advising the council of 2 significant anniversaries for members of the Little Compton Police Department. 2 members have achieved 20 years of service. They are Deputy Chief and Lieutenant John Faria and Sergeant John J. Harris. I would propose that, or I would solicit a motion in which I would write on behalf of the council a letter of congratulations to each of these men for their service.
So moved.
The motion is made by Counselor Wallach, second by Counselor Mataronis. Is there further discussion? I'll ask for a roll call vote on that motion. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
for more,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
motion aye. Thank you. The next item of business is a memo from the town administrator in which he seeks approval to advertise in a request for proposals for a geographic information system.
Motion to put out an RFP on a GIS system.
Second.
Second it.
We've been putting money away for this, haven't we, Bob? Have we been putting funding away to pay for this?
Would you like me to answer the
There's
question?
not a special fund. Go ahead, Administrator.
Yes, through capital, yes, we have.
Okay, I thought we had a few years back, because this was been on the back burner for the last 6 or 7 years at least, so. Okay, I'm done.
Any further discussion? I'll ask for a roll call vote. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
motion aye. Thank you. Please proceed, Administrator, with that solicitation.
Thank you.
The next item,
Thanks, Tony, for your work on that. Just want to say.
Well, there was a bunch of us. There was a team effort. So, yes, including Carol, we're able to squeeze her in there. She did quite a bit of proofreading for us. You know, last minute, you always need an extra set of eyes, and she did a good job with that as well. So thank you to all of them, to all of you. I should
thank you. The next items of business are communications. The first set of these from the Smithfield School Committee, we have 3 resolutions for which we've been provided a copy. Subject of those resolutions are a moratorium on the expansion of charter schools, support for any and all, that's 1. Second is support for any and all legislative proposals that would disallow non-law enforcement to carry concealed firearms on school grounds. And the third is a resolution expressing support for the state reimbursement of transportation services costs for public and private school pupils. I would propose that we treat these as a block. They are copies sent to us by the school committee of Smithfield. And I would solicit a motion on behalf of these 3 items, unless someone wishes to see.
I'll make that motion, but I'm assuming these went to the school committee already.
What would
Carol,
be your motion, sir?
I said I would make that motion, but I would like to ask Carol if these have gone to the school committee.
They have not been forwarded to the school committee from my office.
Right.
But the city clerk or the town clerk in Smithfield was the one who sent copies to all cities in town. So if you look on the bottom, it says that they go to other town councils and school committees.
I'll second the motion, which I assume is to place them on file, Gary.
Yes, place them on file, but can we just pass these along to the school committee since it deals with them, please?
Is
Yes.
that your second, Counselor Golembeski?
Yes, I'll amend my second to include that as well.
So let me repeat the motion. The motion is to place these three on file and to ensure they are forwarded to the school committee of the town of Little Compton.
That's
Is there any
correct.
discussion? Hearing no discussion, then a roll call vote. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach. Counselor Mushin votes aye. Thank you. The next two items are copies of resolution from the Burrillville Town Council. Those
Bob,
two motion.
before you do that, Chief Rains has signed in if you'd like to go back to that matter. I say that
All
because
right.
I know we have young Coco on the line.
Make a
All right,
motion to
thank
bring
you.
up the chief's letter about South Shore Road.
Second.
Sec-
I will take that as assent from the council that we bring this matter forward. Then I'll ask that we return to the South Shore Road Safety Plan, which is an old business item from prior meeting. A discussion of the plan that was submitted by the chief of police and a review of how to measure the impact of that plan. Chief Rains.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize for the tardiness. In regards to Social Road and the letter from Coco and the concerns of pedestrians and the speed on Social Road. So from our point of view, the first thing I always do is try to gather some statistics in regards to past years, looking specifically at the summer months and the traffic heading down to South Shore Beach. So obviously there's an increase in vehicles during the summertime. We're planning on implementing, our usual tactics in regards to that. We will have directed patrols throughout the day where there will be various timeframes that patrols will be in that area to saturate the area, not only South Shore Road, but we'll Shaw, Long Pasture, Brownell, et cetera, the adjoining roads. We'll utilize the electronic signboard to just reinforce the speed limit. The signboard also collects data on vehicles, so we'll be able to collect some data to see if we are being effective or not in the area. It'll count the number of cars, average speed. It'll give us the number of speeders versus those following the speed limit. And we'll also be able to utilize some of our Department of Transportation grant money, the Blue Riptide money, in regards to enforcing seatbelt use and, of course, as always, distracted driving, the use of the cell phone and other items while heading down to the beach. So that's our plan in regards to Coco's letter, and I think time will tell how effective we are.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the petitioner or from the members of the council?
So I think there may be a question from the,
It's in the chat. Would you like to read it, Anya?
Right.
yeah, there's a question in the chat that says, we're wondering if this is particularly around the curve on the road, so the curve at the bottom of South Shore Road as you head to the beach.
Chief Rains, did you hear that question?
I did. I was reading it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
The curve is, we would, try to position the electronic signboard as close to the curb. I know that's the issue. We have a lot of people, it's quite the sharp curve, and it's a little blind if there are pedestrians moving along the roadway there. So the ability for us to get that signboard closer to that intersection or that curve will be helpful to that. We may be talking to some residents down that end. The signboard's 6 or 7 feet wide, so finding a nice spot for it on the side of the road there might be difficult, but if we could elicit maybe some property from some of the residents, that might be helpful.
Any other discussion?
So I would just say, I've been a resident of South Shore Road, and I do a lot of walking around here. And I've also been a resident of West Main Road, where I went on to Swamp Road a lot for my walking and running. And I think those corridors are where people are really driving fast too. So anything you could do to slow people down before they even get to South Shore Road on Long Highway and Swamp Road, I think will make a big difference. So that would just be one point. And then second, it sounds like you gather some data that of which I was not aware from the signs themselves. And
Yes.
So would be interested in how will you know whether your interventions make a difference and actually reduce the speed of the motorists around there.
The sign will break down the times of the day hourly, so we can compare that to our directed patrols. We can compare it to the 4-hour blocks of grant details to see if we're making an impact. And then obviously we can take a look at when we're not there and look at those numbers as well.
So could we get a report like at the end of the season saying, here's what we did and here's what we thought the impact was?
Absolutely.
Great.
And there's another question in the chat box if you'd like to read that.
We're asking about.
Yeah, Coco's mom is saying, thanks. I think where Coco was coming from is that prevention would be a key since we know speeding is an issue. Would speed bumps be a possibility that would slow traffic effectively? Have you considered that, Chief?
Chief, you're on mute.
You're muted.
I would defer that to the town council and the town administrator. My thought would be that if we installed speed bumps on South Shore Road, we would get quite a few requests for speed bumps throughout town. And I think we would be overwhelmed with those requests. I'm already meeting with some residents next week in regards to that very topic. So I think the Go Local Prov recently released a story in regards to the city of Providence installing quite a few speed bumps. Those speed bumps seem to be centered around crosswalks and school zones within the city. So that would limit us to one school zone and one crosswalk if we were going to, follow that. But I would defer to those above me for the speed bump question.
Chief, is the brush been cleared back fairly well on that South Shore corner? I mean, what visibility was always kind of poor, and people walk tight in that corner and you can't see them when you go around the corner and all of a sudden they're standing there. I'm not sure. I haven't been down there, to be honest with you, in a while, so I'm not sure what it looks like.
I probably haven't driven down there in about a month or so. I am not sure if the DOT trimmed back that corner or whoever we had doing the trimming has done that yet. Maybe if we can clear enough back, get the signboard into that location. My concern is most of the side of both sides of South Shore Road have that drainage gully. So parking the signboard in that location is going to be difficult. But we'll try to figure something out.
All right, thank you, Chief.
And Chief, you can park anything on my land that you want.
Thank you.
Okay. I think it's important that we acknowledge the fact that someone's brought this to our attention. We devoted some time to it. It's not a closed issue, certainly. We will, it's a summer who takes care of that. We'll make a particular effort to ensure that that's not only mowed, but continues to stay that way. So we'll hopefully intervene in that respect. But
Is it possible, Mr. President, to put this on an agenda at some point in the future so we actually check in on the data from this coming summer?
Sure, perhaps I'll call it midsummer, if that term still holds, that we might get a kind of status report.
Yeah.
Say the middle of July, the second meeting of July.
That'd be great.
Very good.
We'll
Thank you.
ask that the police specifically inform us at that second meeting in July of the state of play of this problem, and we can make it. Thank you.
Great.
All right. Any further on the South Shore Road speed issue? Thank you. I see nothing further in the chat or raised hand. All right, then the next two items would be those two resolutions by the Boroughville Town Council. The first supporting any legislation enacted by the General Assembly that maximizes local control in the implementing of legalization of adult recreational use of marijuana. And the second is a copy of a resolution that requests the General Assembly to temporarily waive the state maintenance of effort requirements for local contributions.
Motion to place
I will
on
tell you that
file.
both of these.
Second.
The motion is made to place on file. The second is by Councilor, the motion is made by Councilor Golembeski, seconded by Councilor Wallach. I will tell you that the League of Cities and Towns keeps us well advised on both of these issues. For further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote. Councilor Golembeski,
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis,
Aye.
Councilor Moore,
Aye.
Councilor Wallach.
Aye.
Motion aye. The next item of business is a letter received from the Republican Town Committee that corrects the date for the use of Veterans Field. The corrected date is June 13th. Is there a motion to approve the revised date of June 13 instead of June 6th?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mataronis, second by Golembeski. Any further discussion? I'll roll call vote. Councilor Golembeski,
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis,
Aye.
Councilor Moore,
Aye.
Councilor Wallach.
Aye.
Motion aye. Thank you. The next item is a notice of proposed rulemaking by CRMC. These appear to me to be administrative in nature. There is a hearing date of 5/11 cited, and the end of public comment near the end of the month on 5/26. Does not appear there's anything of particular interest to us that we need to comment on. Is there a motion to place this matter on file?
Second.
I think
you
he
make-
presumed that Councilor Mushin made the motion.
How about all
Motion
second
made by Mushin,
Mataronis?
Motion made by Matt. No, not the motion. The motion was made by Mataronis, second by Wallach. Is there further discussion? I'll ask for a roll call vote. Councilor Golembeski,
Aye.
Councilor Mataronis,
Aye.
Councilor Moore,
Aye.
Councilor Wallach,
Aye.
Mushin, aye. Then the next item is a request for a mobile food establishment permit for Hawaiian Jim's Shave Ice for a mobile lemonade slant ice cream truck for the ensuing year.
Motion to approve with all necessary state and local ordinance adhered to.
Second,
Motion is made to approve by Counselor Mataronis, second by Counselor Golembeski. Is there further discussion?
One question I have, Carol, where is the location of this going to be?
He serves only down at South Shore Beach.
Okay, very good.
Any further discussion? A roll call vote on this motion. Counselor Golembeski,
aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
Mushin, aye. Thank you. Then the consent calendar, is there a motion to place that on file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Golembeski, second by Mataronis. Further discussion?
Yeah, I just had one question. The original bid from Dave's Lawnmower was $11,879, and this is for $10,899. I did text Bill to see what the discrepancy was. Does the town administrator have an answer to that? I mean, it's less money. It's like $980 less, so I was just curious as to whether he didn't need something on the mower, that's all.
No, he just gave us a discount. He was very generous, and he actually lowered the price.
Okay, that was music to my ears. Thank you. So there's a motion on the table.
Any further discussion? A vote on the motion. A vote on the motion. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
Mushin, aye. The payment of bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion made by Golembeski, second by Mataronis to pay the bills. Any further discussion? Roll call vote there. Counselor Golembeski,
Aye.
Counselor Mataronis,
Aye.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Wallach,
Aye.
Mushin, aye. One final pitch to folks that are online or listening otherwise, or who will in the future, please attend the financial town meeting. We look for a quorum of people, and it's important that we have them there, especially in an era when we can't see your smiling face in the auditorium. So we look forward to seeing each of you then. And with that, having no further business before us, I declare the meeting adjourned. Good evening.
Good evening.